Ava, you ready?
Yeah.
So, here's your gavel. Call the meeting to order. Ready? Good. Call the meeting to order. Call the meeting to order.
I call the meeting to order.
And I want to introduce everybody to our supervisor of the day, Ava Ochagrosso. She has won the book reading contest this summer. What books did you read?
My favorite series, Warrior Cats.
Warrior Cats.
Warriors. It's called Warriors.
Oh, Warriors.
Yeah, but it's about cats. So.
About cats. I might have missed that one. I like John Grisham. So, are you ready to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so now we're going to call up. Is Reverend Murray here? So call up Reverend Dr. Sean Murray. Call him up. Okay, say, I call up Reverend Dr. Sean Murray.
I call up Reverend Dr. Sean Murray.
Nice job, Ava.
And there he is. And he's going to lead us in our invocation.
Hi, good afternoon. Congratulations, Ava. I know it's a special day for some of you. I understand there's some officers who are going to enter into service, be sworn in this day. Is that correct, sir?
That is. They must be in the hallway because I don't see them here.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to say a prayer for them, too.
Thank you, sir.
We'll let this lady settle in here. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we settle our hearts again into your Spirit. We give you thanks for the blessing of this day, for the blessing of our town and the many good people who fill it. And we ask that you would bless our leaders here. Guide them in their decisions and deliberations. Help them, O God, to check all hubris with a kind compassion that lends listening ears, particularly to those in need. On this day, O God, we pray for the many in harm's way. We're particularly mindful of the people in Haiti and in Cuba and all on the path of Hurricane Matthew. Bless them, O God, watch after them, and grace them with angels of care and compassion in their paths. Bless those who keep us safe here. Be with our military and the officers and those young people who are about to enter into service this day. Bless them with discerning eyes and caring hearts. Bless us all, O God, and lead us in the way that you would have us go. In your great name we pray, and together we say, Amen.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Murray. All right. So, Ava, did you want to read that letter? Do you have it? Or does your mom have it? That's right. She works for you, so just call your mom up. Remember. So, Supervisor for the day, Ava, is going to read a letter that she officially submitted to the record to the town board. So, go ahead, Ava.
Dear Town Hall, hi. I want to talk to you about something that really drives me nuts. Trash. It's all over, on the beach, in the ocean, and on the street.
Basically everywhere but the trash can. My first reason against this terrible trash takeover is animals see it and then they think it's food and then they eat it. After that, they get sick and probably die. My second reason is that at the beach, people get lazy and throw trash in the beach and ocean. Food like crumbs of bread, pretzels, and chips are fine, but not trash. My third reason against this is it's littering. It's kind of like making a trash can out of our and their world, and we only have one. Oh no! In conclusion, we depend on animals for a lot of things. Keeping our and their world clean should be our way of saying thank you. Please help them, Ava.
Thanks. Great letter for the supervisor. Thinking there may be a political future for you, Ava. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we'll put this to the side. Whoops. And we're going to call her up. Tell her you want her to come up.
Penny Brown?
Come on up, Penny. Miss Brown. Ava, come on down. So, Miss Brown, do you recognize this gentleman? Do you want to come sit down?
Oh, it's okay.
Why don't you let him sit in the front then?
Want to sit down?
All right, so that's the gentleman who's like this. So, Ava, do you want to read that proclamation, or do you want to just give that, you kind of know what happened? Do you want to say anything? No? All right, how about I read the proclamation? Oh, you can, absolutely. Go ahead. Stand over here by the by the table. That says whereas.
Okay.
That's fancy script.
Okay. Whereas, it is both fitting and proper that the town board and residents of the town of Riverhead celebrate those who do extraordinary things through service, honoring individuals who dedicate themselves to serving the community with pride and commitment, and recognize the achievements and acts of heroism by our town employees. And Penny Brown is an employee of Riverhead Town Senior Center, who is a bus driver and a team player who assists with with other tasks at the center when needed. And on Thursday, July 28th, 2016, while helping to serve lunch for the Senior Center's annual luau, Penny Brown noticed that a 78-year-old Dante Mazzarelli was choking on food and in obvious distress, and without hesitation, Penny Brown, who attended a staff CPR training session at the Senior Center a few months prior, quickly responded to the choking man and administered a abdominal thrust to dislodge the food. And Penny Brown fulfills a role in the chain of survival and played a significant part in performing a purposeful, distinctive, and successful life-saving act on another human being. Without her involvement in the situation, a more tragic outcome would have occurred, and with the town of Riverhead, wealth is not measured only by monetary standards. We measure it by our people who have carved the shape of its heart, which Penny Brown has so defined. And on behalf of the town of Riverhead, I, Sean M. Walter, by virtue of the authority vested in me as supervisor of the town of Riverhead, I hereby proclaim this day as Penny Brown Day. And
don't you have your family come up for a picture? I think that Supervisor Ogigrosso said it well, and Penny has done a wonderful job, is doing a wonderful job working at the senior center, and we are so proud to have you on the staff. And so,
In the picture with the family?
is this your mom? Your mom? You should be very proud, young man. You should be very proud. Husband? Father? I'm getting it all. I'm not even getting it. You should be very, very proud of the young woman that is your mother.
Dante.
Nice.
Somebody like this in my life. This is very good.
All right, Dante, turn around. We're going to take some pictures. Oh, look that way.
Yeah, that's my smile.
You can't see them, they can't see you.
Tim, I can't see you at all. Tim Hubbard.
Oh, can't see that.
All right. Penny, thank you very much for all that you've done. Would you like to say anything, or? Speak. You don't have to.
Hold your peace. I just want to say thank you for today, and it's an honor to receive this. And Dante, it was my pleasure. It just hit me at the, it was right there, at the right time. But I also want to say thank you to the staff. Since I've been working with the senior center, it's just been great. The staff they welcomed me in, and they've been great. And thank you for the support from my seniors that came out to see me today.
At the center, and the people that go there with their help, I wish them help too.
Thank you.
They're very kind and very helpful.
They do a great job, and it's our pleasure to provide that service to all the seniors of the town. And it is our immense pleasure that we hired Penny Brown because, we got it right. So, let's just grab your agenda since you're right here for a second. Don't go anywhere. We're going to call up now. We're going to call up police officers to be sworn in: Kaylee Constantine, Michael Kitts, and Eduardo Nava. So, you want to do that? Oh, you want to do the American Diabetes first, the chief here?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to call up the American Diabetes Association first because there's something not on the script. They're going to give us an award. Chief, come on up. We're going to. You don't. Yep, come on up. The floor is yours. These folks are from the American Diabetes Association, and I think they want to present us with something.
Not a bill, is it? I hope it's sugar-free.
Give us your name. Look this way so you can see the cameras.
We'd just like to thank the town for all their help in our annual fundraiser, our bike ride this past June, all the cooperation the town gave us and the police department. It's just for the town of Riverhead.
Oh, thank you very much.
Police department. And also I have something for Lieutenant Lassard, who was very helpful with all our routes and safety on the day of the event. As Lieutenant Lassard.
He's not here, I couldn't look at him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so.
Okay.
No. And I would be embarrassed to ask. Okay. we're going to now ask the police chief's going to come up, and we have hired 3 new police officers in the town, and Jill went out to get them. So with your loud booming voice, you want to call up Kaylee Constantine,
Kaylee Constantine, please come up.
Michael Kitts,
Michael Kitts
and Eduardo Nava.
and Eduardo Nava.
Come on up, guys, all the way up here. Got it memorized? We'll stand here so you can get a picture. These are our 3 of the newest Riverhead police officers. And the police chief is going to swear them in. Oops.
So Officer Constantine, on your right, Officer Kitts and Officer Nava. Officer Nava and Constantine have been with us for a while. They're both part-timers, now full-timers. And Officer Kitts joins us from the NYPD, so we're happy to have them on board. You guys are used to this by now, so you're going to raise your right hand. I'm going to ask you one question, and then you just say I do afterwards. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and to faithfully discharge the duties of police officer for the town of Riverhead to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
I do. I just want to say on behalf of the Riverhead Police Department and the town board, you know, there's a lot of things going on in the world that involve the police and different things that we're not going to get into here. But when we were doing the interviews, one of the things that we were looking for, because I think the key to successful policing is community policing. The key to successful relationships is to be present with one another, and when in being present with one another, we come to understand one another. And some of the things that were described while they were doing their interviews really led us to believe that these 3 will be present with this community no matter what happens. And I think my favorite story, though, as she did work for us previously, I'm not sure how that fit into the police, but was Officer Constantine would bring her football. And once in a while throw the football around downtown. And while that might look odd in a uniform, that's the kind of community policing that we're looking for to stand out. So all 3 of you, congratulations, and we look forward to your long and prosperous careers. And so let's get a picture. You guys, well, no, you guys stay there. Stay there. We'll come over there. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess up the angle?
There he is.
See if I fits with kids. I'm sorry.
You always do, Tim.
Did you get it?
Thank you very much, and congratulations
oath
to you
for
and
you.
your family. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Really, thank you. Make sure the football stays in the car until
Oh,
somebody tells you
all right,
otherwise.
all right. Until I answer my calls now.
That's right. All right, take care, guys.
225.
225.
225. What were you?
106.
What's your badge
number? 227.
226? Yes.
Finally, right? Right.
227?
Ready to go. Me too.
21 plus line. That's good.
Chief, I appreciate it. You're the best. Thank you very much.
There's your, okay. All right, so the next thing is can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Say it out loud. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Right now.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Can we get a second on the minutes? Can we get a second on the minutes?
Yes, second.
Say moved and seconded, vote please. Moved and seconded, vote please. That's what you say. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. First thing I want to do on the agenda is to deliver the 2017 tentative town budget to the town board. That is here. And then under correspondence, I had a letter from Jamesport, South Jamesport Civic Association, expressing concerns and suggestions as to traffic conditions during the Columbus Day holiday weekend and end of year agritourism events.
See, she's reading these.
Peter Danowski sent a letter. He's the attorney for Farm Country Kitchen, and that letter is seeking to gain approval for a proposed site plan application providing parking for patrons at Farm Country Kitchen. Under fire districts, the Jamesport, Riverhead, Manorville, and Wading River Fire Districts submitted their proposed 2017 budgets. Under reports, the sewer district submitted the discharge monitoring report, and Riverhead IDAs submitted their proposed 2017 budget. And that's it.
Okay, want to see if there's any other town board reports? You don't have them, but sometimes they want to say stuff. Okay, ask if there's any town board reports.
Is there any town board report?
Actually, yes. I would just want to say that the Landmarks Preservation Commission and the Architectural Review Board had a joint meeting on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock to discuss the proposed development on McDermott Avenue and Main Street. And the architect for the project has spoken with the Architectural Review Board and Landmarks and will continue to work with the town and those committees to get a beautiful building put on McDermott Avenue and Main Street. So,
Okay, any other town board reports?
I just have one. This Sunday, as long as Hurricane Matthew decides to stay south and way east of us, the Country Fair, 42nd Annual Country Fair in the Riverfront parking lot. Starts at 10 o'clock, goes till 5 o'clock. It's a great time. Going down to East End Arts property, you'll have homemade jams and pies and cookies and a lot of contests, quilting, you name it. A lot of agritourism on the East End Arts property, as well as vendors and entertainment, and there's lots of stuff. It's a great day. You're all familiar with it, but it's this Sunday at 10 o'clock.
All right,
No rain date as of now, but maybe tomorrow.
let's hope that there's no hurricane, trust me. Pray. All right, Supervisor Ava, you ready to go forward with the public hearings? All right, so we're gonna bang the gavel here, and then we're gonna open up the public hearing, and you're gonna say, I open up the public hearing, and then you're gonna read this. Bang the gavel.
I open up the public hearings. The
Consideration.
consideration of the local law to amend Chapter 289 Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking
Regulations.
regulations of the Riverhead Town Code 2892, stop and yield intersections, railroad crossings, parking fields, Meeting House Creek Road, Peconic Bay Boulevard.
Oh, now I see why Mr. Colosso's here. So, it is, that hearing was scheduled for 2:05. It is 2:25. We'll open the public hearing, and John is not here.
I was at the meetings though,
Right.
and
Can I just want to give
Okay,
a description?
go ahead.
Or I'll have Bob give a description.
sure.
Well, it's, there's 6 new additions being proposed to the section described 289.10 of the code. Basically, it's looking to designate no parking zones at the intersection that's formed by Peconic Bay Boulevard and Meeting House Creek Road. Both sides of the street, west and east sides of Meeting House Creek Road, both south and north of the intersection with Peconic Bay Boulevard would be designated no parking zones if the town board chooses to adopt this change for 300 feet from the intersection. In addition, Peconic Bay Boulevard, as indicated, would also have no parking on both sides of the street, and that would be 300 feet from the intersection with Meeting House Creek Road.
Okay, does anybody else on the town board wish to say anything about this before we open up to the public?
Yeah, we had concerns from the community members that came out to the Traffic Safety Committee meeting with the chief and Councilman Dunleavy and the town engineer and the highway superintendent. And we tried to come up with a solution that would work for everybody involved. And this is what was proposed and what came out of that meeting. Since that time, I have met with the owners of Phil's, who have some recommendations, I think, that they are going to be proposing that might mitigate some of the problems. And I think that the public would be interested in hearing what they have to say. I think that it'll really solve a lot of the problems and add more parking into the parking lot and still prohibit parking along street frontages that don't belong to the property itself or have street frontage. So, Mr. Glasso, would you like to?
Yes, please. Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor and town board members, and Ava, congratulations. Since this meeting that took place, I met with our neighbors, I think it was last Saturday, and I've come up with a few things to try to mitigate this issue of parking across the street, which would be on the east side of Meeting House Creek Road and up Peconic Bay Boulevard. So we had a long meeting. It was probably about 45 minutes, and I respect, their issues that they have and traffic concerns and safety. So, I proposed and we spoke about putting up a probably like a either a permanent or a temporary fence on the property that the restaurant sits on, so that we can make a defined entrance and exit by the sign that designates the restaurant. And the purpose of that is that I think when people are coming out of the parking lot, they're cutting across the parking lot, and you have ongoing traffic heading south on Meeting House Creek Road, and nobody really realizes who's got the right of way there. Secondly, that intersection has always been a problem, even without the overflow of the traffic there from the restaurant. You have people that are traveling south coming out of Huckabuck, and there's a stop sign there. Then you have the other people that are traveling, they're traveling north out of Huckabuck. You have other people that are traveling south coming down Meeting House Creek Road that are making a left-hand turn onto Peconic Bay Boulevard, and everything that we've been taught is the person that's heading straight has the right of way, but they actually have a stop sign there. So that's always been an issue there about who has the right of way there if you're not, if you're out of town, from out of town. So we were chatting also about the possibility of putting up a stop sign on Meeting House Creek to make that left-hand turn onto Peconic Bay Boulevard. Our defined entrance and exit that we're proposing would be directly across from Peconic Bay Boulevard. So now you would have a four-way intersection with stop signs all the way around, so that the traffic just slows down and everybody takes their time.
Makes sense.
I would like not to see signs on our side of the road, okay, on the west side of Meeting House Creek Road in front of my property, that we can use for parking. The biggest issue that I have with the 300 feet is that it actually encroaches on my storefront, that there's been parking there for, I don't know, probably 40 years now. So that is definitely a little bit of an issue as far as on the west side of Meeting House Creek Road. The other thing that we would like to see is we proposed to the neighbors, and Jody and I had spoke about this, and Gio when we had met, that we would like to try to do diagonal parking in the restaurant itself, 45 degrees. We want to reconfigure the parking lot a little bit to make it a little more user-friendly, and obviously we can get more cars off the streets. We definitely, I agree. I don't want people parking on, other neighbors' lawns. We don't condone that at all, and we definitely do have to do a little bit better job policing that. So we would like to reconfigure the parking lot. I'm asking the town, if we get that far, that they give us a little bit of leniency. I don't want to have to do a full-blown site plan to add 12 or 15 more parking spaces. I'd like to see if we can do a de minimis so that we can get it passed and push it through
You listen to
and
that,
make the
Jeff?
changes.
Yep.
Mr. Murphy?
Venomous.
I don't know if we can do it as a minute, but we can perhaps do it as an administrative, which would be moved back by the planning board, but it would be no public hearing.
We like that. It's not a bad thing.
Well, I think one of the, you said there was two things, not only that, but I think a third advantage to putting a fence up is you actually have great parking stalls right along.
Correct.
That you can't do right now.
That's correct.
So that's gonna get more parking
That,
spaces.
that's correct. And we want to do something that's tasteful there. We're thinking of maybe a split rail, white fence. We don't want to put up a chain link fence. So we would like to do something tasteful there, but at least, we'd be able to create more parking on the inside there of the property, for the property. The other things that we have looked into, valet parking so that we could utilize the spaces a little bit better and keep the cars off the streets. And the last thing that we had talked about, I talked to Phil Jr. yesterday, is that we need to maybe have somebody that's out there policing it a little bit better so that people know where to park. Because a lot of times they're parking on the streets and there is empty stalls within the parking, within the restaurant parking. So we want to do that, and we also are trying to get some parking in front of my store, which closes at 5 o'clock in the evening. And I told Phil there's no reason why, his employees and any overflow parking can park right in front of my store. I don't have a problem with that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The 300 feet, with the exception of the west side of Meeting House Creek Road, if we limited that to 75 feet, does the 300 feet work in the other, on the other points on that road?
It's actually going to be 150 feet from the designated ingress, so they will be able to park along the fence where the fence exists now, and then when they put the split rail fence coming up to the designated way to get into the parking lot, there wouldn't be any parking there to not obstruct sight vision.
Right. I agree with that. I do have to take some measurements off of that defined entrance and exit to make sure that we can still park in front of the fence that's existing there, the chain link fence.
So that's the only, because that's probably not really where the obstructions are coming out of the restaurant. It's more coming out of the other, especially Peconic Bay Boulevard, coming out from that direction, or Huckabuck. Huckabuck?
Yes, Huckabuck.
Huckabuck. All right, so if we adopted the rest, it works. We would have to go to rehear that one for whether it's 300 or 50 feet on the west side of Meeting House. That's what's in question for you.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Galasso?
I think that's it.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on this? Yes? Step up and give your name and affiliation for the record, or Hamlet.
Yeah, my name's Bob Hayne. I live on Pine Avenue, which is down Meeting House Creek Boulevard. I don't know if he said this, but...
Bob, just talk into the microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
My name's Bob Hayne. I live on Pine Avenue, which is off Meeting House Creek Boulevard, down a dead end. I don't remember hearing him saying this, but the speed limit going south as you go around the sharp turn by the railroad tracks says 40 miles an hour. And I noticed that Hubbard Avenue speed limits have, within the last week, they've changed them to 30 miles an hour. Now, I know we've talked about this in the past. That speed limit sign, which is 40 as you go around that turn, should be reduced to 30 miles an hour. So as you go past the Lighthouse Marina and the restaurant, it's 30 and not 40. 40 is just too fast.
We don't, unfortunately, the state of New York has to approve all our speed changes. I don't know, Chief, have we ever put in for that one, the Meeting House?
I think they've changed the whole thing. I just have to see what the eastern cutoff is.
Well, you changed Hubbard Avenue to 30 miles an hour.
We don't change it. The state of New York We do not have the legal ability to set speed limits. The state of New York sets it in towns of the second
Well, I'll
class.
tell you right now, as you
Can-
turn
can-
left by the restaurant and
Mr.
go
Hanel,
east,
Mr. Hanel, can
the
you let me
the
fin-
speed limit is 30. That's the only 40-mile-an-hour speed limit in that area.
Mr. Hanel, can you let me
You go
finish?
look at it. It's the way it is right now today is absolutely stupid.
There is gonna be a
Okay,
stop sign
Jody, can I finish?
on Peconic
Can I
Boulevard.
finish?
Yep.
We don't have the ability to set speed limits. We have to go to the state of New York and petition the state of New York, and they do a traffic study or a speed analysis. And if they agree with us, which I'm gonna say Hubbard is one of the few ones that they've agreed with us recently, if they agree with us, they let us reduce them. And it's reduced upon us putting the signs up. We don't have we do not have the legal ability to do it, but we will, Chief, can you add that to traffic safety? Because I don't disagree with you, but we have to actually petition the state of New York for the speed limit. Councilman Dunleavy has been working for a long time. I thought they actually passed legislation to give us the ability. We're waiting for the governor to sign it. I think they actually passed legislation last year to give towns of the second class the ability to set speed limits. But to my knowledge, the governor hasn't signed it. I would anticipate he would sign it, but right now, we don't have that legal authority.
He denied.
Change it. Nobody would know.
He denied it?
He denied
Couldn't enforce it.
he denied that.
All right.
denied East Hampton Village. I don't
You could
Oh,
change
okay.
it, you just couldn't write any tickets on it.
All right,
How
yeah.
long,
If you
hi.
could state your name and affiliation for the record?
Hi, I'm Tina Newman. I live at 96 Pine Avenue in Hucklebuck Park. So how long of a process is that if we go forward
Years.
with years to get that changed?
We put it in, and I don't even remember doing the Hubbard Avenue one. Chief, you know how long that one took?
I don't remember doing it either, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
That went in on Sound Shore Road forever, and that still isn't done.
yeah,
We
you're
were very
talking years.
surprised, yeah.
Unless the governor signs this new legislation, which I don't know that he signed it yet, but there is legislation that may give us the ability to do it. But
Right.
now we don't have it.
Right.
And there is going to be a stop sign on Meeting House right before you make the left onto Peconic Bay Boulevard. So there will be
Right.
a stop sign there. It will be a four-way stop. So people won't be able to just fly down Meeting House and make the left on Peconic. You'll have to stop first.
Sure.
40 miles an hour fast.
Mr. Hanel, Mr. Hanel, please. If you want to speak, you have to stand up at the podium.
Just do it.
Mr.
One
Hanel,
stupid sign.
Mr. Hanel.
We can't willfully break the law, sorry.
Thank you, Ava. Okay,
Not on
Supervisor,
camera. Not on
Ava-
camera. Off camera, we break the law.
Supervisor Ava is going to take her leave this evening, so thank you very much. If we get a round of applause for our supervisor for the day. You can take that, yeah? All right, take care. Thank you very much, and we hope you had a nice day. Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to thank Mr. Galasso
Sorry, you okay?
for meeting with the neighbors. We thought that was very productive, and I know he met with Jody and the engineer on site, and that was really great because, you know, we just want to have a solution. I just wanted to go back to, he wants to be able to utilize the area by the chain link fence if we put those signs inclusive of 300 feet, that he's concerned about his storefront. But would that be an issue because his storefront is straight in parking? I don't know if it's the same type of parking that would,
Well, we wouldn't want to put it no parking 300 feet because that could be an issue with his straight-in parking. So we want
it
to make sure
still
that.
would be an issue.
yeah, we
Okay,
wanna
that's
make
what I
sure
want to
that
clarify. Okay.
Yes, we want to
okay.
make sure that works.
And that's fine, and that's fine. We don't have any issue with that. The other thing that we did talk about, previous meetings at the traffic safety meeting, was putting up tow-away zone signs, and we talked about the problematic issues with not having the right tower or, you know, the equipment to tow the new cars, and so can we discuss that a little bit, whether or not, if that's an option, besides no parking, tow-away zone?
We wouldn't, I mean, we do no parking, we issue the tickets. If there's an obstruction, we will send a record to tow it.
Okay.
And we don't like to do that because it's a very expensive proposition
Right.
for
Sure.
folks, but if it's an obstruction to the roadway, we will tow it.
Okay, all right.
But Councilman Dunleavy did say at the traffic meeting that you were at that our tow truck, it was damaging the cars when it was towing it, so we would need a new wrecker in order to tow the cars, and so that's what his problem with it was.
Can you use a
in his
private, can
experience.
you use a, can you contract a private?
We tow the vehicles. If there's an obstruction, we will tow the vehicle.
Okay.
We
Will
take
there be
care
a
of that.
sign that denotes
It's
that?
not a tow-away zone. that the
No
police
park,
officer
okay.
makes the
It has to be a
determination.
hindrance to traffic.
Okay.
It can't be, we don't tow for
Okay, all right.
violation of parking.
Well, we're just trying for clarification. The other thing that we talked about was coming, I guess, westbound on Peconic Bay Boulevard towards the restaurant. The overhanging limbs, we think that's problematic for sight, and maybe we can do a little trimming over there so that they can see the stuff.
You want to
Check with Gio?
check?
Yeah.
We'll have Councilman Hubbard's the liaison. We'll have him check with Superintendent Woodson. That if they're within our right of way, he can trim them.
Oh, okay, all right,
So we'll check to see if he can do that.
okay. Well, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Okay.
Anybody else wish to be heard on this afternoon? No?
Oh, yeah, well, okay, I have a question from the peanut gallery over here. Will the parking signs, when that inclusivity, will it has arrows or something, or it'll have?
It'll
how
say
they
no
do-
parking up to the 300-foot point or the 75-foot or wherever it is. It'll
Right.
have no parking for that entire length.
So so it's denoted by an arrow, like this direction and
You'll,
that direction?
Well,
you should be able to understand it.
No parking between here and intersection, probably.
Okay, all right, all right.
All right, thank you. If nobody else wishes to be heard, I'll close the public comment portion. Leave it open for written comment until October 14th at 4:30 in the town clerk's office. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
So Bob, if we do adopt this, that one section, we'd have to pull out until we can get a measurement, so just make note, because I think the rest of it probably works. Yeah, hopefully.
Once he does that, then he'll have the measurement on there.
All right, second public hearing was scheduled for 2:10. Is this the same consideration of a local law to amend chapter 289 vehicles and traffic parking regulations, Riverhead Town Code parking?
That's what we just did.
When was this? No, we did this one. We did this one. This was the first one. And that was,
They're both,
they're both.
meeting has complete.
No. I only see one.
I don't see one, but you got it 2 times.
I think we had,
This is the one we did. We just did that one, and then this was the second one with all the,
Well, I don't have that first one.
you don't
I don't have that
that.
first one.
No, neither do I. I only have
None of you have that.
None of us have that.
Which one's that?
All right, well,
I was actually discussing the second one.
Oh,
I
my
was
gosh.
discussing, but there's nothing there, Jody.
It says
There's
consideration
nothing.
of local law,
Yeah,
railroad
there's
crossing,
nothing.
Parker Fields, Meeting House, Creek Road, Peconic Bay Boulevard.
There's no code section. When you turn the page, the code section is
That was
this.
missing? It's not,
Yeah.
it's not in there anywhere?
That's what you should just hold
Okay,
up.
so, so that is a public hearing, it just isn't in our packet. So I'm gonna open up the consideration of a local law,
That's the one she had.
consideration of a local law to amend chapter 289 vehicles, traffic, to amend chapter 289 vehicles and traffic parking regulations, Town of Riverhead Code, 289-10, parking prohibited, Meeting House Creek Road, Peconic Bay Boulevard. So that meeting is opened. Does anybody wish to be heard on that meeting? Not seeing anybody, what I'm going to do is incorporate the entire record from the 2:05 public hearing into the 2:10 public hearing, because had I realized they were exactly the same areas, I would have opened them at the same time. So we'll incorporate the entire record from the first public hearing to the second. And we'll leave it open until October 14th at 4:30 in the town clerk's office.
And Supervisor, just to let you know that the chief just presented from the DOT that we do have the authority to make it 30 all the way to the Laurel line, from Hubbard all the way down to Connery. So, Mr. Hamel's question can be
Look at that, Mr. Hanel, look how quickly
He left.
we satisfied your.
left. He probably home he's 40 miles an hour.
Good, well, that's good. I don't even remember doing this, this had to be,
Oh, this just gonna come up.
no, it just came out, but this had to have been put in by us years ago. I mean, like 5 years ago.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, third public hearing is scheduled for 2:10. We have 2 public hearings, 3 public hearings,
5, there's actually 5.
4 public, let's see, 1,
Let me just see, 1, 2,
4. All right, there's 4 public hearings. We're
4,
going to open
4.
them all at the same time. And this is a consideration of a local law. The first public hearing is scheduled for 2:10. It's a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 103 entitled Zoning, titled Town Officers and Employees of the Riverhead Town Code, Zoning Officer. Open that public hearing. Second public hearing was scheduled for 2:10. That's a consideration of local law to amend Chapter 105 entitled Boards, Commissions, and Councils of the Riverhead Town Code. We open that public hearing. Third public hearing is scheduled for 2:10, consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 219 entitled Coastal Erosion Hazard Areas of the Riverhead Town Code. We open that public hearing. Fourth public hearing scheduled for 2:10 is a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 301 entitled Zoning and Land Development of the Riverhead Town Code, Building and Planning Administrator and Chief Building Inspector. We open all 4 of those public hearings at 2:46. Those public hearings are somewhat ministerial in that we are changing, we no longer have a planning director, and we are substituting planning director for chief building inspector, and in all 4 sections of the code, we are making the town building and planning administrator and the chief building inspector the authority to render and make determinations that pertain to either Chapter 301, which is the first public hearing. The same would go for Chapter 105 for accessory structures. The same would go for the third public hearing, which would be the coastal erosion management permit. And the same would be for the fourth public hearing, zoning and planning administrator, procedures for site plan review, use permits, plan unit developments in the supplemental use regulations. And the reason for this is that we, first of all, don't have a planning administrator anymore, and we want to have planning director, sorry. They have a planning administrator, sorry, you're still here, Jeff. We have a planning administrator, and we have a chief building inspector. We want them both to have the authority to make these determinations in case one person is out. We have a secondary person that can make these determinations. It really is for the efficiency of government. Does anybody wish to be heard on these riveting public hearings? Not seeing anybody, we will close the public comment portion on those 4 hearings and leave them open for written comment to October 14th in the Riverhead Town Clerk's office, 4:30. Moving right along, we are going to open the public hearing for 2:15. Almost there. This is a local law. This is a consideration of a local law to amend the Community Preservation Fund project plan to include project plan for water quality improvements. We open that public hearing at 2:49. And this is, Anne Marie not here, but this is Bob, you want to brief this, or you want me to say?
Well, this is being done in conjunction with the new legislation, which is going to be on the ballot in November, which is extending the period of time for the CPF. As part of that legislation allows for towns to utilize community preservation funds for water quality improvement projects. And this is being done in order to supplement our previous community preservation fund project plan. I think there's 2 things that are identified in this document. One is pursuant to Town Law 64E, a septic system rebate and incentive plan, and the other is to provide for an agricultural environmental management program to assist those in the agricultural pursuits to likewise reduce their nitrogen and other contaminants
anybody wish to be heard on this public hearing? Not seeing anybody. Was this time sensitive? There's not a resolution in the packet for this to adopt this.
No, once the CPF fund, once it passes, then the plan has to be adopted and implemented.
Okay. I'm going to close public comment portion and leave it open for written comment to October 14th, 4:30 in the town clerk's office. I thought this was time sensitive. You know what, I'm not gonna close the public comment portion. I'm gonna suspend the hearing for, the moment while we open another public hearing. And, we will come back to the determination on this public hearing. I may not be able to leave it open till the 14th because I believe that this is time sensitive. So we will come back to that hearing. Diane, hopefully somebody, one of us remembers we have to come back and close that public hearing out. We'll suspend that hearing for the moment. All right, we now have two public hearings scheduled for 2:20, and we're going to hear them simultaneously. It is now 2:51. The first is the consideration of an application for site plan approval from J. Petroselli Development Associates and Joseph Petroselli to convert an existing two-story building for use as a restaurant with bar at 428 East Main Street. We'll open that public hearing. And the second public hearing scheduled for 2:25, and it is still 2:52. We'll open this, the consideration of an application for a special permit from J. Petroselli Development Associates and Joseph Petroselli to convert an existing two-story building for use as a restaurant and a bar at 428 East Main Street, Riverhead. And we have the affidavits of publish and posting, Mr. Russo.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, there are affidavits of posting and mailing, one for the site plan for 200 feet, one for the special permit for 500 feet, with the necessary affidavits. Green card receipts and white receipts are also provided.
All right, thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, as you are aware, my name is Eric J. Russo with the law firm of Van Brunt, Jesuiak & Russo, with offices at 140 Main Street, Sayville, New York. I'm here today, again, representing J. Petroselli Development Associates, a general partnership at 100 Comac Street in Ronkonkoma, New York. The applicant is seeking two things between the two public hearings. A special permit pursuant to Riverhead Town Code, Section 301-141B, for a hotel on the subject premises, and in addition, site plan approval from the town board as it relates to the proposed project. What I would request that the supervisor and the board consider doing is that for purposes of this hearing, incorporate the minutes and the testimony and documents that were provided to the board on the hearings at August the 16th as it related to the special permit for the hotel, and September the 20th as it relates to the site plan application that was before the board.
We will absolutely do that. We'll incorporate the minutes and documents as requested by Mr. Russo into this.
That being
hearing.
said, what I want to point out just for the record is that the documents that you are incorporating are three. There is a traffic and parking study as prepared by Nelson and Pope, dated September 2016 for 428 East Main Street, known as the Preston House, which is this document that I am showing you presently, which was received by the board, filed with the town clerk, and also on file with the planning department. In addition to that, there was an expanded environmental assessment form, EEAF, again prepared by Nelson and Pope and Voorhees, 428 East Main Street, Preston House, again dated September 20th, which was provided to all of you, which had all the relevant documents that you're including in the record. The other document that was also provided was prepared by my office, which is a photograph document binder for the special permit, which was dated August the 16th, that had all the relevant photographs and correspondence between the town, the applicant, and addressed all of the site plan and special permit issues. There was testimony at the two hearings by Mr. Voorhees, who addressed all of the criterion that related to the special permit application under 301-141B. And then at the subsequent hearing, there was testimony that was provided by Mike Brousseau from VHB, Nelson and Pope and Voorhees, which addressed the site plan issues, the traffic, as well as the parking issues. And there was information provided also by Osmond Barry from the same firm. That being said, both gentlemen are here again today, both Mr. Brousseau and Mr. Barry, who can, if there are questions of anyone regarding those issues, will further amplify that. In addition, we have the project's managing member, Joseph Petroselli, available if you have further questions. And we also have Doug Adams from Young & Young, who prepared the site plan, as has been reviewed by the Town Planning Department and the various related municipal agencies. What I also just handed up to you is something I don't know that the board has had the opportunity to review. It is a comment letter that was provided to us approximately 2.5 hours ago through the hardworking and diligent efforts of your planning department. And Mr. Murphrys, as well as Karen Gluth, were kind enough to try and get this out to you before the hearing. I just asked Ms. Wilhelm to circulate it to you. It's a 3-page letter dated October 3rd.
Only 3?
Only 3. Because
well done, Karen.
We have
must be 4 font.
We have fastidiously worked at trying to remediate and eliminate the comments that the staff had been putting forward. And if you review the comments which our engineering staff and design team have looked at, there are really de minimis in terms of what's there. It's more a cursory summary indicating a special permit needs to be granted by you as well as the site plan. CEQA needs to be completed, that the ZBA has had a hearing but cannot make its determination until CEQA comes forward, and indicating that we have addressed the comments of August the 15th, which was a submission, and that further review is required. There is input required from the Highway Department, some additional fees due, and then the most important issues that we have to address, I guess, with you. As I told you previously, the ARB has already reviewed it. Landmark Commission has already reviewed it. They've made their recommendation. Our client has made a submission to the Building Department yesterday with his preliminary plans for Mr. Hammond to commence a review in anticipation and hopefully an approval from this board as to the major applications that have to go forward, so that they understand the timeline of what they have to address or revise as to their plans. There is one comment in here that relates to trees. According to our engineering team, there are no overhead wires, so as far as that issue is concerned, they will pick another tree selection that would be acceptable to the town and to the planning staff. But the other issue that comes up, and has come up again for the second time, relates to the New York State DOT. And as Ms. Giglio is aware, we met with the Traffic Safety Committee on September the 22nd. 8:30 in the morning. It was a great meeting. It was a productive meeting. And what wound up happening with everybody who was in attendance, from the highway superintendent, the chief of police, Mr. Dunleavy, Ms. Giglio, and myself, and Brian DeLuca, the outcome was, although there were issues and needs that the town was trying to figure out the best solution, they concluded that the New York State DOT was the jurisdictional determination as to what would be set forth. Our study that we provided you with at the last hearing as to the site plan by Nelson, Pope, and Voorhees recommended that we put in a traffic light. That's, as deduced from the committee's recommendation at the town, would be up to the DOT, and it would be the most severe or the most safe issue, but there was a debate whether a traffic light was appropriate. There was discussion that there should be maybe 1 or 2 activators. Everybody recognized the town wanted to eliminate the cost of crossing guards and aid budgetary constraints within the town. The applicant's willing and prepared to do whatever the ultimate recommendation is agreed upon by the joint efforts of the DOT and the Traffic Safety Committee from the town. We've spoken with, and the application comments were supplied to the DOT as of September 27th. Through the efforts of the supervisor's office, the planning department, my office, and our engineering consultants, we've all called and spoken with the DOT, and the response that we got is Mark Wolfgang, who was reviewing it, retired yesterday. The remaining staff who are there okay, have gotten the plans
Overwhelmed.
and circulated it, and we're waiting for them to come back with a recommendation, which my phone call as of today, this morning, was at best 2 to 3 weeks. That being said, it is our position that all of the issues that have been raised by the town in the CEQA process have been addressed by our design professionals through Young & Young, Nelson Pope and Voorhees. That the town has sufficient information that when Mr. Seaman completes his review, writes a recommendation, which is what we're waiting for, you should be able to reach a CEQA determination and, in our opinion, conclude what would be the best course of action for the development of the project based on that determination. That being said, after the conclusion of the hearing today, I have nothing further, unless you have questions of our consultants. I have nothing else to put forward to you. I would just like you to recall that once this board makes its decision as to the CEQA determination, the Zoning Board of Appeals then would have to make its decision as to the de minimis setback in the rear of the proposed hotel of 3.5 feet, which there is a memo that Mr. Kozakiewicz has, and I have viewed, that says the Zoning Board has probably no issue in granting that relief. And then we could move forward with CEQA made, ZBA made, that this board could direct and determine the outcome of the special permit as well as the site plan. Towards that end, I would respectfully request at the conclusion of the hearing today for the board's consideration that you hold it open for a comment period and then put it over to October the 18th for CEQA and decisions as it relates to the CEQA, at which point it would have to go from there back to the ZBA for approval, and then from there back to you for final decisions on the special permit and the site plan. That being said, if you have any other questions of me, I have nothing further to put forward at this time, but everybody on my side would be happy to be here to respond to anything you have concerns about.
Does the town board have any questions? No? Does the public have any questions? I think we have one member of the public coming up. She's one of the supervisors.
Hi, Laura Jen Smith from Laurel. I just have a question. I know when they had presented last time that as part of their report that they reported off on their parking for the number of parking spaces that were needed between the hotel and the restaurant, and I just wasn't sure what that was. So I was wondering if they could answer the number of parking, because I believe the whole of their parking is within the parking district downtown. Is that correct? So I was just wondering how many spaces they were providing.
I'm going to let you finish, and then if there's somebody else, I'll let them speak, and then they can answer the question about the parking.
Okay.
Thanks. Miss, would you like to speak? Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, Town Board. My name is Christine Martirano. I am with East Main Riverhead LLC. We're the owners of the office complex located at 518, 524, and 526 East Main Street, more notably where the Social Security office has been. The property's been in my family for 40 years. It was developed by my father a long time ago. I've managed it and been part owner for about 30 years now. I've watched Riverhead through an economic downturn and become revitalized again by Mr. Petroselli and his projects at that end of town, the aquarium and the hotel. I asked the town board at this time to consider the impacts that these projects that you approve that do not have sufficient parking, on-site parking I should say, when you relegate them to the parking district, and I'm going to say Mrs. Smith pulls up with her children to go to the aquarium, she's going to look at the first parking lot that she sees, which is ours. And over the last 5-6 years or so, we've had significant cost impacts to us due to the use of our parking lot by hotel patrons and aquarium patrons. I don't object to the plan that he has. What I do object to is the parking problems that it's going to create, or additional parking problems that it puts onto my property. In addition to that, I have an extreme, the impact of the traffic patterns over the last 10 years. When you come down 2nd Street, our parking lot has become the Ostrander Avenue bypass. And I'm sure everyone in the room is aware that when you come down, to avoid the crossing guards and the backup that you have at the corner of Ostrander and Main Street, most people will take the 2nd Street and cut through my property, which means my property has essentially, my parking lot, which is a private parking lot for the use of my tenants, has now become a roadway. So again, there's an impact to me financially because my parking lot's not designed for that. So I'm going to ask that you consider these things in this applicant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have signs? I'm just curious. Do you have signs in
Yes.
your parking lot that says private parking violators will be towed?
One of the things we've had to do, and I'll call it the growing pains over the last 10 years or so, because that's what they are. And stuff is all good for Riverhead. But in order for us to tow cars legally out of our parking lot, if you go there, you'll see that we spent like $4,000 on signs to protect us. I've had lawsuits for people that are not my tenants and not my tenants' visitors that I've had to pay out on. I've had property damage, again, people not my tenants, not my visitors. So again, I'm going to ask you to reconsider or to consider this in your
Thank you
this
very much.
application.
One of the things that will help you is that either the traffic light or the crossing, elimination of the crossing guard and 2 illuminated crosswalks, because what's happening is we're closing Ostrander to southbound traffic. That's forcing more people through your parking lot. That's done for the safety of the pedestrians. If we get either the traffic light or the dual illuminated crosswalk, we won't close Ostrander, and that should alleviate some of the problem, because I know there's a problem there.
It's a serious problem.
Yeah.
And
And
someone's going to get hurt. That's what's going to happen. Someone's going to get hurt there.
What we've done. The good part is all these projects are really increasing the value of everybody's property, so we're cognizant of the fact that we are putting burdens, both benefits and the increased property values and burdens on everybody, and we will do what we can to mitigate the burdens.
I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Russo, do you have a answer on the parking question?
The numbers that were provided to you at the last meeting was that there were 154 parking spaces required, and that there are 361 parking spaces throughout the district that would be able to accommodate the parking. That's why we didn't need to have a parking variance. And
Preston House is in the parking district?
Preston House is in the parking district. That's one of the applications that were scheduled. You haven't determined it yet, but that's one of the applications that a decision would have to be forthcoming in order to proceed with the site plan and the special permit.
The town is going to have to, and the board is aware of this, create parking on the north side, and that is something that the board has been talking about. And as the town has some additional capital through some of the things that may happen next year, I think you're going to see some. I think you're going to see some activity on the north side to create additional parking. So, thank you, sir. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Laura, go ahead. Ms. Smith, rather.
I just have a question for the board, how you determine it. So it's my understanding that 134 slots would be needed for the project itself, and that 300 were available in the parking district.
Okay, well, do you have to go up to the podium and clarify it?
Okay.
Slots.
Gambling?
According to the plan they submitted, we requested that they put down the amount of stalls that would be required if they were in the parking district. If
Right.
they were not in the parking district. And that would be 89 stalls if they were not in the parking district.
Okay, so they need 89. They probably want 134.
How many in the parking district? They need 130?
No. If you're in the parking district, you don't have to provide on-site parking. So they did tell us how many stalls that would be required if they were not in the parking district.
Right, 89.
And that would be for the hotel and for the restaurant?
Correct.
Okay.
So the reality is, Ms. Smith, what we are going to wind up having to do, I said this a long time ago and everybody laughed at me. I said I would create a massive parking problem downtown. It's not massive, but it's becoming a parking problem. We're creating it, and we're probably going to create more of it when we do this project. And so now the board and myself have to think about what are the next steps to acquiring property to park, and we are talking about that.
I guess that really was my question. If you have 89 spots that will be needed within the parking district for this project, and then you have the other McDermott Hotel, which has 100 and I believe 18 plus employees, which is only going to be providing 60 slots. You have Summerwin, you have the Woolworth building. At some point, you have all the restaurants downtown, and really downtown you have, I think, a total of 630 slots in all of downtown.
Spots. We prefer spots.
Within the parking district. So at some point, do you need to say, okay, before we're coming up with a solution to the parking problem, we no longer have parking spots down there as you let these projects go through, and I'm just wondering how that's going to be addressed.
Stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, does anybody else wish to be heard on this issue?
Mr. Supervisor, I'd just like to clarify, because the information that I gave you about 154 came as a result of Nelson Popes Vori's review of the Institute of Transportation Engineers. What was related by Ms. Gluth is what is on our site plan as it relates to your code requirement.
That's a better one for you.
Well, I would agree. There you go.
All right,
and
thank you.
I also want to point out there are, as I indicate, I misstated because I was looking at a photo. I thought there were no overhead wires, but regardless of that, as I did state, if they want different trees, we'll put whatever trees the town planning staff or the town board determines is appropriate. Not a problem. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Petroselli.
Hi, Joseph Petroselli of Petroselli Development.
We might have to buy your lot on Ostrander.
Anything's for sale.
Sure it is.
Got to pay off that East Lawn building. Just so we're aware, too, in addition to being in the parking district has been helpful for us to build out, but our development company has also provided 45 spots in the parking district across from the hotel that belongs in the parking district. We also have 7.5 acres further down Ostrander that we provide shuttle service back and forth from the hotel and the aquarium as well, which moves daily depending on the season and the occupancy. In addition to that, we have in for approval an additional 40 spots across from the East Lawn building, as we know. So we are providing, in addition to as many spaces as we can out of part of us.
You are doing everything you humanly can, and we appreciate it. And we have a question, and we will find the solution to that question or problem. All right, does any board have any other questions?
Oh, I just have one, and I noticed, because I live in that neighborhood, so I know you have the two lots on either side of Ostrander.
How many cars can we put on your
along the
lawn?
tracks. But there's another lot on the other side of the Union. Is that yours as well? Okay, so you own that whole
No.
Two on each side of Ostrander.
east and west side of Ostrander? And then there's one on the other side of Union that's open, but I don't know who owns that. Okay.
Is that the railroad?
I don't know, it's a big lot.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Russo, do you have anything further for us?
No, other than our request that if the hearing is ready to be closed, that it be put over to October 18th in order that CEQA could continue and we could proceed with the other zoning board, and then all of the necessary decisions from this board as it relates to the parking district, the special permit, and the site plan.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to close the public comment portion and leave it open for written comment to October 14th, 4:30 in the town clerk's office. Thank you very much. Who's that young man right there with the long blonde hair?
That's, he's doing his Boy Scout.
Are you doing a Boy Scout merit badge?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you come on up? We want to know about that. Come on up. You got to do a merit badge. This is not. This is a little active. I knew there was something going on. Right there, over there. We want to. Now you have Matthew Lacombe. You know, when I was your age, that's exactly what my hair looked like. Exactly like that. So, Mr. Lacombe, is that what you said?
That's Matthew Lacombe.
What is this merit badge for?
I'm working on citizenship in the community. It's a merit badge required for Eagle, which is the highest award you can get in scouting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're very well spoken. I don't know why you didn't come up and ask questions. And you related to former Councilman Jim Lull?
Yes, I am. He was my grandfather.
Oh, well, he was a good man, and he sat actually right there where Councilwoman Giglio sits. Well, thank you for coming, and we wish you the best of luck in your Eagle Scout. Now you have proof on camera that you were here for your Scoutmaster.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care. Be blessed, my friend.
You can see Carissa for your letter.
All right. I think that's it, Diane. We're going to take public comments on resolutions. Does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions? Sal, you want to be heard on? No? All right, let's start resolutions. Oh, well, yes, that's what I said. We want to be heard on resolutions. We move like lightning, this town.
We gotta go all the way to resolution number, I think it's 764.
Antoinette, can you just pull the microphone down?
Sure.
Solid waste, 764, you said?
I believe it's 764. Wait, no, I'm sorry, I didn't put my glasses on.
It's 764.
The one on garbage?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that one, Antoinette?
Well-
You and I have been talking about this by email a long time, every Monday morning, practically.
Yeah, and I sent pictures.
I told you I was going to do this.
No, I had to hear it from Miss
Put in-
Giglio.
I emailed you that I put my trash out at noon. And
That's right. I figured you know somebody in high places, so
I
you
do.
could change the code so you would now be in compliance since you were breaking it for so long.
Absolutely.
We should all have such luck.
We should, but I'm honest about it. So what did you want to know?
Why? Let me tell you why I'm asking why.
Oh, well, do you want me to answer or do you want me to?
Oh, you could answer, and then I'll tell you what I think of it.
Okay. Why don't you go first?
All right. Well, there is the component of having to deal with garbage out on Sunday mornings for those who have pickup on Monday. I wasn't complaining so much for during the week. My feeling was that we're a town who is now happily a destination. And Middle Road, as you know, because you even told me one time, you use it rather than go to 58. So it's heavily trafficked. What an image on Sunday mornings to see a line of garbage pails in our community, anywhere in the town. There's no need for it that early.
But this is 12 o'clock. You can't put it up before 12 p.m., so you wouldn't be allowed to put it
Well,
out
this
Sunday morning.
person would still be in violation since she likes to put it out at 9:30, 10:30. So you're not saving her from going, from her habits.
We weren't trying to save anybody. We were just trying to make it a little easier for the residents.
You were trying to make it easier for yourself, sir, and for Mrs. D. Come on. In 2014, I filed a complaint about Middle Road between Ostrander up to Northville on the south side. They got noticed. That trash stopped all those homes. Then I noticed this person's in 2015, they started to put it out 10:30 in the morning. I notified you, I took pictures, I still got them in my camera. And then you told me, well, I do the same thing. And I said, hey, you're in violation of the town code. All right? But the purpose is not to go after people because they're putting their garbage out, as much as to acknowledge there is health hazards. We have litter along Roanoke and Middle Road that's unbelievable because garbage is put out so early. We have wildlife in town. Sometimes they knock it over, not very often. The lids are pretty good. We have to contend with our high winds. That happens too, I grant you. But there's no need to put it out so early in the day. because you're getting a pickup the following day. There is no need.
All right, so
I'm nearly 80 and I can comply with the code in my community.
Do you have a dumpster?
I don't. I don't have a dumpster. I put mine at the curb. I live on the second floor. I have to go down the whole flight. It's exercise.
All right.
But I do object to it on a visual pollution. We should be trying to make our town a beautiful town. Putting out garbage that early in the day on a Sunday. I'm not worried about middle of the week, as I am on that Sunday. And we're inviting people to go to our vineyards, to go to the aquarium, to go anywhere in Riverhead, Suffolk Theater. And what do they see? Our streets are lined with garbage.
So this isn't the public hearing, we're just adopting.
Yeah, but I can't even understand why the heck you even have to come up with this. Why you're even bothering to change it. I could understand if you said, Antoinette, we don't have enough code enforcement to do this. Which you don't. You only have 1.5 people. I don't know how you got a half a person, but that's what they told me. Makes no sense. We're changing a code because somebody knows somebody in high places, in spite of the fact it's him.
You have the ability to come back to the public hearing.
I will. I will.
Thank you very much.
I
You're
just
very
want
passionate.
I just want people to know we should have a beautiful town to live in.
I agree with you. All right, thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard on resolutions? Nope. Diane, let's take up resolutions.
Resolution 735.
Authorizing removal of fixed asset records from system. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 736.
2013 Millbrook Gables Playground Budget Adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
I spoke with the chair of the rec committee and he said that he was in favor of these changes. So yes,
Wooten.
the
Yes.
committee is in favor of the changes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 737.
2015 General Fund Budget Adjustment. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 738.
2016 Skate Park Project at Stotsky Park Budget Adjustment. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 739.
Riverhead Water District Capital Project Closure number 30133. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 740.
Capital Project Closure number 40104. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 741.
Capital Project Closure 42054. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 742.
Basketball Court Project at South Jamesport. Budget adoption. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 743.
Amends Resolution number 253, adopted on April 19, 2016. EPCAL Playground Budget Amendment. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 744.
Accepts the Highway Superintendent's personnel report and request for Town Board resolution to effectuate personnel request. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 745.
Authorizes publication of help wanted advertisement for an auto mechanic 2. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 746.
Appoints a cook. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 747.
This appoints an administrative assistant. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
She's doing a great job, yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 748.
Accepts the retirement of a senior account clerk typist. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 749.
Accepts the resignation of a network and systems technician. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 750.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing for a special permit for the Country Wood Village, Gentile Associates Incorporated. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 751.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing for a special permit for North Fork Auto Body. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 752.
Authorization to publish advertisement for fertilizer and lawn chemicals. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 753.
Authorization to publish advertisement for townwide printing.
You are fading, aren't you? You're fading.
Second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 754.
Awards bid for truck parts. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunley, Walter.
Yes.
Resolution. Resolution adopted. Resolution 755.
Ratifies the appointment of a call-in assistant recreation leader to the Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 756.
How many we got here? Good.
That'll go quick, please.
All right, 756, appoints a call and recreation aide to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 757.
Appoints a call-in recreation specialist to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 758.
Ratifies the appointment of call-in personnel to the Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 759.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice of public hearing to consider the adoption of the 2017 preliminary annual budget for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 760.
760 is going to be a special town board meeting on a Thursday for the unsafe structure, because that could go long. So that was this 18th, that's the Thursday, Diane, is that?
Yes, it is.
Like in November.
Good.
This is 17.
November 17th.
17,
It's
what
a
did I say?
Thursday.
Yep, okay, good.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a public hearing regarding an alleged unsafe structure located at 212 Trout Brook Lane, Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number District 600, Section 85, Block 2, Lot 95.19, pursuant to Chapter 217, Part 4 of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 761.
Amends resolution number 683 of 2016, 29 Lewis Street Board Up Order. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 762.
Approves the Chapter 255 application to Costco Wholesale 785 for the retail sale of Christmas trees to warehouse members. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
So moved.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 763.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of HTBAD Incorporated Happy Fest Obstacle Course and Festival, Saturday, October 15th, 2016. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
No.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 764.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a local law to consider amendments to chapter 273 entitled Solid Waste of Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes to public.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 765.
Authorizes a settlement with Harold Newman and with National Liability and Fire Insurance Corporation for property damage to the town of Riverhead Highway street sweeper. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 766.
Ratifies the issuance of a letter by the supervisor to the Suffolk County Department of Health Services allowing the use of Pine Barrens credits originated from property located in Riverhead. Farmingville Associates. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 767.
Approves chapter 255 application of Railroad Museum of Long Island, Toy Train Play Days, October 8th and 9th, 2016. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, just
Resolution.
quick discussion on this. Barbara Velez came in to talk to Jill, and, you know, as many times as we go through these resolutions and change of code, we miss things, and we can't change it because it's already been published. But if you look at page 2 of Resolution 768U, it says hospital landing site for reception and transport of emergency and trauma patients. I want people to understand that means helicopter. Should have been helicopter landing site. I just read it quick. You know, it's moving the landing pad. So I don't think we can change it, but that's what I think the legislative intent, should this get adopted, be. And there was one typo that Bob will fix in the ultimate adoption on next page, that C in the resolve should be H, but Bob, that's not a big issue. But hospital should be helicopter landing pad. I don't know how we missed that, but we did. Thank you, Barbara. So if you could move that, and we'll leave it, but it is what it is. Legislative intent means that we want the hospital to have a
Well, there's not too many
helicopter.
hospitals flying right out there.
No. All right, can we move that one?
Town board authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice for the town board to classify the action as type 1 action pursuant to SECRA. Request lead agency status, consider an amendment to the comprehensive plan and zoning map, and to change the zoning classification of certain parcels from shopping center SC to hospital H zoning, use district along Roanoke Avenue, Riverhead, New York. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 769.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 301 entitled Zoning and Land Development of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Seconded.
So just quick discussion on this one too. I'm not sold on us doing this, but we are probably going to do this because we want to get this cardiac catheterization lab. But we probably, again, Barbara, thank you. If you look at page 3 of this resolution, paragraph 1, it talks about site plans will be reviewed by the town board, but really the review, the legislative intent is what the planning board had, review and approve with modifications or disapprove site plans. So when we have the public hearing, we're going to specify that that review means, because this has been published already, to try to move this through so that we don't lose our bid for the cardiac catheterization lab, that review should mean review, approve with modifications or disapprove site plans. So Barbara, again, thank you. This one I didn't really pay too much attention to. I'm not a big fan of this, but we are the state of New York has put us in this precarious situation where we're competing to get this cardiac catheterization lab. So if we can move that, and we understand where that is.
I do. It says that anyway.
No, but that's for the planning board.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we need it for us.
Okay, well, it's been read and seconded, right?
Yeah, no. Moved and seconded? Did we vote?
Did we call it?
No, I don't think we did.
We moved and
Oh, we moved and
seconded.
seconded, vote
We didn't
please.
vote yet.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 770.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 301 entitled Zoning and Land Development of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, don't vote, there was just one thing, but I don't think we have to worry about it, too much.
This use says helicopter landing site.
Yeah,
This is a helicopter.
Yeah, no, this one, when you look at the hospital, I don't think this matters too much, but under the permitted uses, it talks about that we could, no building or land shall be used, and no building shall be erected except for one of the more following specified uses. It also should say, or special permit uses. I don't know how we're gonna fix that. We're going to understand what it is. That was a change in the 11th hour to make what the parking garage a special permit use? No, the height. It was the height, because the elevator shaft, but we can't change it. I put it on the record. I'll put it on the record for the public hearing.
Well, the special permit language is in the.
It is in there. It's just not in that. It would have been cleaner in that, but I don't think that matters. What matters is that I have to take Barbara's notes and make sure at the public hearing that I incorporate them into the record, because they're good comments. Did we move and second this one?
Yeah, we're ready to vote.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 771.
Accepts the resignation of member of the Architectural Review Board. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Well, it'll be sad to see Rick go, sitting on with the Architectural Review Board for the last 6 years. He's been there since its inception, which is 28 years. And if you took a look at the way plans came in and what they look like in the finished product after the design professionals on the Architectural Review Board get through looking at it, you'd be amazed at what great work they do to make the applications better in aesthetics for the town. So I thank him for his service, and hopefully one of these evenings we'll be presenting him with a proclamation for 28 years of service on the Architectural Review Board. And sorry to see him go. Yes.
Wooten,
I hope they put a nice design together. Yes.
Walter.
Everyone gets the acrylic seal of approval, yes.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 772.
Appoints a member to the Architectural Review Board, and that is Kelly Shocker. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 773.
Amends resolution number 720 of 2016. Approves the chapter 255 application of Sports Car Club of America, New York Region, solo driving event. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 774.
Pay bills. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes. of course.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Did you square away the pay bills with?
We're working on that.
Okay.
We've been talking about it. The next one's off the floor.
Okay, can I get a motion, the court, Justice Court would like to apply for a grant for up to $30,000 to assist localities in the operation of their Justice Court, purchase equipment, furniture, and supplies, and they have to get this grant application in, I think, today. So if we don't mind applying for a grant,
This is resolution 775.
if we could take that off the floor.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we take resolution 775 off the floor. So
A
moved.
second.
Moved and seconded to take it off the floor.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 775 is taken off the floor.
And can we move it?
Approves the submission of a grant application to the State of New York Unified Court System. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, I'm going to reopen the public hearing for the consideration of a local law to amend the Community Preservation Fund project plan to include a project plan for water quality improvement And we can leave this open for written comment and adopt it at the next board meeting should the board see fit. So I will close the public hearing for that and leave it open for written comments to October 14th, 4:30 in the clerk's office. Is there anybody that wishes to address the town board on any issue before it? We ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Not seeing anybody, can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved. Thank you. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The meeting's adjourned. So is that you know?
Landmarks in there they came up with from McDermott. These are just box windows, so it's just replacing some of the windows.
So if they're willing to do it, that's fine.
Looks pretty though, doesn't it?
Well, it looks pretty. I like the other one. I didn't like what they changed it to look like. That whole mansard roof thing, I think looks hideous, what they changed it to.
It might change again.
You talking about on that one?
That's not what exactly was expressed to them,
Thank you
but
for the ribbon.
767 or 769. Soccer.
No, I'm putting that over.
But as quickly as they can get that thing in, we want to get it approved because they're, I don't know if they're, how the grants coming to that thing, but it's a huge number of grants. Tim, you should go home. You sound like-
No, I spoke to Officer Welsh about it, he was out there Sunday.
Is that what it is? Are they holding competitions and stuff? I know they had
This
security
past
guards
Sunday,
there.
they were doing
Oh, it's every
sport.
Sunday, yeah. Okay.
First time I heard about it was Monday.
Yeah, they've been doing it.